Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Let's see what these tea leaves have to say today. All right, and I have to say, this is the middle of the day on a Friday. It is maybe a little bit loud around here. You might hear a little girl having fun. She's really excited. Daddy filmed all morning. Now it's Mommy's turn to film, and she's really living her best life. Very excitable. So you might hear that in the background. Also, you know, the cats are here as well. They are up and roaming. Okay, so our card is the Prince of Wands. That is some fiery energy. That is kind of, you know, the prince, princess, page, and knight in other decks are kind of juvenile energies. The beginning, the opening of that creative energy, the emotionality is really there, it's really started to catch on, but it has not been refined yet. Okay, so we know that this could lead to carelessness, ego, an abundance of lust, bad decision making, not the best judgment sometimes, right? But a lot of passion. So let's see here. We have, it looks like a person on a horse going this way. And then we have another person on a horse going this way. And now we have somebody who looks like they are kind of running after this person over here. Okay, so I feel like we've been found ourselves in a situation of trying to make a decision, right? Maybe between two people, maybe between two separate things, two places to move, two jobs. I mean, it could be anything, right? You just are really emotionally involved, whatever it is, okay? And, with this energy, I feel like there are those pangs of potential, right? Opportunity, excitement, that kind of feeling where it's like, oh, what if this really works? Or what if, this is kind of the actualization of my dreams, my desires, my wants, I think beneath this energy, you've been a little bit plagued with passion. And I say plagued with passion only because I choose the word plagued because first of all, I think Cancer, you all are very passionate people about things that you really care about, for sure. I don't think you're very frivolous people, but it can get to a point sometimes where it starts to feel a little bit burdensome because it really kind of takes your focus away from, you know, things like your works. You know, more maybe sways you away from a more logical, scientific mind, right? And so I feel like it's been somewhat of a struggle because you are kind of operating off of passion, emotions, maybe lust. And this doesn't have to be physical lust. But this can be like a lust for, you know, whatever. Insert power, leisure, a reprieve, whatever it is, you know, something that you consider fulfilling or attractive, a sensation of some kind. Okay. You know, and I think that here it's kind of a sense of chasing. There is a chasing. And this is where things can get messy for you, is that, you know, you get almost transfixed, enchanted, and you have to see this thing to completion, you know, and sometimes even against your better judgment. I think sometimes, you know, like, this is not really for me, or this is not really going to end up well. I don't care. I'm still going to go for it. I'm really, you know, I'm interested in this. I want this. I want, you know, whatever. And, you know, there's a sense of almost being kind of mesmerized. And, you know, I think that as I'm looking at the rest of it, it looks like, if you can think of a bunch of birds flying in different directions, it looks a bit like chaos. Is it chaos? I don't think exactly, but there's a lot of energy, a lot of things overlapping. Some anxiety, I would say. But we do have the owl right here, okay? So there is a sense of, you know, wisdom. I mean, of course, right? But also being in that posture or configuration of the watcher, the observer, okay? So you haven't completely abandoned your normal protocol, right? But I do think that, you know, maybe you've got a little bit messy with things here and there. You know, I feel like there's a sense of wanting to get lost in it all, which I think is normal, right? It feels nice to be in love. It feels nice to be, you know, on fire and in a state of passion for something. But the thing, you know, the thing I think that is important is there's this underlying feeling of wanting to come home, or wanting you to come home. Of feeling an underlying kind of messaging of, I love you, please come home. Okay. And I think that, you know, these kinds of momentary dalliances, or at least the impulse to proceed into them, is not, I mean, listen, we all have these urges, don't we? And again, this doesn't have to be romantic or you know, coupling. You know, it does not have to be that. It could be anything. You know, just the urge to travel, the urge to quit your job and go, you know, roam around the Middle East or something, you know, whatever it is. But you come down from these feelings fairly quickly. Sometimes we have to find ways to, I think, channel this energy into something useful to us, or something that kind of, can satiate this urge, right? And I see here we have like a little microscope. Okay, and I think that it's important to really investigate where are these feelings coming from? Why do you feel a little dislodged? Maybe it's a change in seasons. Maybe you're coming to the end of a cycle. Maybe this is just a normal feeling. Maybe it's the dang old full moon. Today's the full moon. Well, it must be the full moon still. Last night was I think the peak of it. But, whatever it is, we all have these moments, don't we? I know I do. I was actually just commenting to somebody. I want to move to coastal Maine. I want to live in the coldest cold that I can find. I would love to go to Iceland, Greenland, somewhere. I belong in a landscape that is, cold and unforgiving. And I think about it constantly, getting up and moving the family. And thankfully my husband is agreeable. So, hopefully maybe one day we'll run off to the coldest place we can find. Although where we live is pretty cold most of the year. We have an A here. Okay, so an A seems important. We also have the sickle, reaping. We have a little volcano here. So we are the sickle, reaping your harvest, okay? And that's just, I think, goes along with this time of year if you are in the northern hemisphere especially. But there's a lot of thought into, in these transitional parts of the year, the long winter ahead. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, planting the crop. Now you're probably tending the crops. It's probably already summer there. But taking care of those crops for the harvest to come. Okay, this doesn't have to be literal, but we are in these natural cycles. Even if you live somewhere where there's not a lot of change in the seasons, which I grew up in a place where it was kind of like that. And I would never go back to living like that because now I live somewhere where there are very distinct seasons, and that change is really important to just my mental health. It helps me, go into different natural modes of being. And so anyways, I do think that there is this, even if you live in places where there's not a huge change, there is we go along with the cycles of weather, with the changes, mentally preparing for what is to come, because we already know, right? We already know, even if we don't consciously think about it. Our body knows. And so there's this preparation happening. Now, I do see we have a volcano right here, okay? And it has a little bit of smoke coming out. So this is, I think maybe a little indicator that there might be some kind of, potential blow up or exertion of a lot of the core energies, vitality. So if that is the case, be mindful to not waste it. Okay, I know it's easier said than done. But like I said, finding something to put your efforts into, right? So important. So important. And then we have, this one just reminds me of a hole-in-one. So I feel like you're good. You're going to be fine, right? And then I just we'll quickly look at these ones. We have a person sitting, it looks like, and it looks like they have a watering can. So we also have, it looks like a person on the edge here who has a watering can right here. And I do think tending to, well, you know, tending to the beloved, right? I feel like when there are these moments in my life anyways, and this, you know, maybe you don't identify with this at all or whatever, but when there is a sense of yearning for something that I can't quite figure out where to put it into, I don't know. Do I want to paint? I don't really paint, but you know what I mean. Do I want to paint? Do I want to make some music? Do I want to build a house, you know? Dig a root cellar? Something, right? I don't know where to put it. That energy, I'm not sure yet. But in the meantime, I will put it into the beloved. I will put it into working those interior landscapes, being with that beloved aspect of self, of the divine, okay? In prayer, in meditation, active imagination, honoring my path by taking care of the things that I need to, taking care of myself, taking care of my family, my immediate community, where I can, being of service, right? You know, I by no means, you know, you might get the perception sometimes that I maybe am a bit of a traditionalist. I know I have to laugh sometimes. I see like the memes for like the trad wife and stuff. And of course that is not me. But I do, you know, parts of my life are aligned in some of these kinds of traditional roles, I would say, I guess. But, you know, I've not lived my life that way prior to this. This is not my identity. These are things that are working for our family right now. And that's important to me. And I think part of that is that I'm just an older person. I'm more settled, right? You know, you might get the impression that we have, you know, the kind of what is it called? Atomic family, nuclear family, whatever. You know, but we share here all of the roles. We all, my husband and I, you know, are not, you know, bless my beautiful, wonderful, smart husband. He does let the women rule the house here. And we're a very feminine forward house, I would say. But, you know, and you know what, I think that makes for a powerful man, really. You know, the gender roles are stupid anyway. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but, you know, I think that it's wonderful to go out and explore yourself, explore life with other people, find love as often as you can, you know, indulge in sensation. You know, be careful, take care of yourself, take care of the people that you are engaging with, you know, be kind to one another, thoughtful. But I also think that sometimes this is energy that is static. We don't know what to do with it. So we kind of play out these things that are kind of, you know, popularize these tropes, you know, of what cute people do, how they go out and socialize, or, you know, this almost kind of nauseating um, obsession with romantic love from the beginning to the end. And maybe that's not the same for men, but it is for women, you know, from being young on. You know, it is something that is woven into everything, which is a lot, right? And then as you get older, you're told, don't go looking for love and everywhere else but yourself. But, you know, I firmly believe that we have to try to decondition ourselves from always looking for fulfillment in our relationships with others and other things as well. You know, so putting it into that interior work, finding something that you are passionate about, you know, reserving those energies that you have for, especially for a Cancer. I think anything where there is some amount of discipline, you know, I immediately think of some kind of martial arts or, you know, a logic game of some kind. These are places that I think are very useful for Cancer people to put their energies when they're feeling, you know, very inspired, but not really sure where to share that, right? But you know you want to. So, anyways, that's just my 2 cents. And here we have, and I like this so much, this face, and it's facing forward. We have a beautiful little trail here. And as we turn it this way, it does look like a boat. And so, you know, I feel like there is, and there has been in some of the other readings as well, a sense of keeping time, a sense of propelling yourself forward, you know, finding a lot of meaning and worth in that travel, okay? Seeing what you have accomplished, how far you've gotten, and continuing on. Okay, so I see this to, you know, be a huge priority for you. And it's really, you know, above anything else with this Prince of Wands energy, tempering self, finding a place to put that, you know, creative channel. You have to be careful where you put those things, you know. So, anyways, I want to do these Divine Doors cards. They are wonderful. I love them. They are kind of inspiration cards. They have interesting little things to say. And they're doors. I love doors. Any kind of doors. I am really into the symbology of doors and portals and so on. I'm just going to stop where it feels right. All right, there we go. That one seems like a very nice door. Expensive door, I would say. Okay, inner power. So let's see. Inner power. By your own command, you brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. Yeah. I'm not really going to comment too much on that, but you know, I know you know. Okay, well, I'm going to say I love you so much, and I thank you for the time that you share with me. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and the algorithm kind of decides everything about everything, and we like to make it happy by giving it the engagement that it wants. Those are things like liking the video, sharing the readings on other social media platforms, watching the readings from the beginning to the end. Other than that, if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And If you want to leave a comment, please do. I read every single one of them, and they mean so much to me. So, you know, it is a great honor for me to be able to get to know some of you, to feel your energies, and to be able to read for you. So I do appreciate that interaction, definitely. All right, Cancer, I'm going to thank you, and we will talk again in just a few days.